To the concluding video for this week, SSC week 3. So you guys answered the questions that I posed. Thank you very much. Some pretty interesting answers. I really liked what you guys had to say. And now it's my turn to answer my own questions. So actually, I'll admit some of these questions I asked not really knowing what I would say. I think I still don't quite know what I would say for all of them, but we'll figure it out as we go. So I wrote a couple notes down. I'll kind of walk through the questions. Hope I don't take too long, but I think some of them I might ramble a little bit. Okay, so first question was, what was your favorite concert or show performance you've ever seen? The reason I asked that question is because I saw it just this past weekend. I went to a Crystal Castles show in DC. The band Health was opening from them. Just visually, sonically, really amazing, overwhelming, intense. That's just my kind of thing. I really love electronic music. I really love EDM, and I really love like lights and light show. And it was a really fantastic light show. So good. And Alice Glass is always really high energy, just a lot of fun, really entertaining to watch. And then Health also, opening for them, did a fantastic job, much better than I thought they would be. So just overall, that was my favorite and best concert I've been to. Really enjoyed that. If I had to go back in time, visit myself in high school, I'd probably tell myself to take more risks. I feel like I was really afraid of failure. I still am, but I would try and get myself to start breaking those habits younger, to say, it's okay to... Failure is okay, and it helps build character, and it's good for you. Because if you don't ever really fail at anything, that fear of it will build and build and build, because eventually you will fail at something. And then when you think that's going to happen, it'll just be so paralyzing that it'll make things worse. So I would say take more risks and get used to taking risks and get used to recovering from failure well, because it's going to happen. If I had to ask myself from the future something, I don't really know what I would ask myself from the future. Because I don't know if I'd want to know. I think basically I just want to ask, am I happy? I think that's what I want to know. If I'm content, or if... Yeah, I think it's just as simple as that. Because that's really all that matters, right? I mean, a lot of people think, in this world you're trying to get success, but why do you want the success? Do you want the success because you think the success will make you happy? Really what you're trying to get out of life is happiness. And I think you can get happiness a lot easier, a lot faster than you can any kind of success. So I'd want to know whether I'm happy or not. And would I want to know how I died? Part of me really would want to know how I died, just because, to prepare for it, because I like being able to mentally prepare for things. I go over a lot of scenarios in my head and say, if this happened, what would I do? And kind of plan it out. So, part yes, part no. But I think it'd be interesting. Yeah. Okay, what's something I'm determined to accomplish before I die? There's a couple things I wrote down, but I'll just read them. So, first one is I want to visit every civilized continent. So that basically means I am determined to go to everywhere there are people regularly living and experience that place. Now, this includes all the major continents, but this also includes like Greenland and Iceland and kind of bigger islands that are kind of their own thing. So like Japan as well. Pretty much everywhere except Antarctica, I would like to go. So that's one thing. Another thing was being debt free. I really, really want to get debt free. That's a must do for me. I do not want to be in debt to anybody. And the last thing, this one isn't as hard of I must do it thing, but get a doctorate. I really, really want to do that. I really want to go to grad school and get that degree, because I know I could do it, and I just want to. It's just a really appealing idea to me. If I didn't get a doctorate by the time I was, dying, I don't think I would be devastated. I wouldn't. I make it, it'd be okay. But I think I'd really like to, at least right now, I feel like that's what I need to do, or try to do at least, at some point here in the near future. Okay, so the next question is top 5 favorite movies of all time. This one is one I definitely know the answer to, because I asked it on purpose that way. So okay, here in order, actually, this is not no particular. This is actual order. My favorite movies are, by the way, they're all very kind of like masculine-y movies for the most part. One isn't. One's kind of like an iffy. But anyway, here we go. So, favorite movie of all time: Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. I know it's kind of a cliche answer, but I love that movie to death, and I've been in love with it from the first time I saw it. Next one is actually a pretty relatively new film, the Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life. That one, again, another instant, fell in love with it instantly. Fantastic, made a huge impact on me, really spoke to me the first time I saw it. I recommend that to anybody. I mean, it can be hard to follow. It's like a stream of consciousness film. And it's like impressionistic filmmaking, but I think it's beautiful. I love it. I'll watch it over and over again. Next, Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira, the animated film. Again, that's another movie that made an impression on me instantly. I'll never forget it. It affects me to this day, the way I think about things. A lot of people, it's considered by some, maybe many, to be the greatest anime film, Japanese animated film. It is an incredible movie. I'd recommend that to. It's an R. It's an animated film that's an R, which kind of makes it weird for people like us in the West. But if you think, if you're interested in that, I recommend it. It's visually and conceptually and everything. Oh, and the soundtrack's fantastic. It's just great. I love it. Next one is Joel and Ethan Coen's Coen Brothers' No Country for Old Men. That was another movie from the first time I saw it. It was just like, I'm in love with it. I just love all the choices they made. I love the character of Shigur. I love the fact that there's no soundtrack in it. Just the intensity. I love, but I think maybe also part of it is because I love chases, but like not like road chases, but the idea of like hunting, like those movies where people are hunting, and I don't know. For me, seeing this movie, just the way it was, and the themes in it, and just the way they're executed, spoke to me in a way that other movies didn't. So, I really love that movie as well. And my last movie is Tarsem. Tarsem's The Fall. Tarsem is the guy who did like Immortals and The Cell. But The Fall to me is by far his best film. I'm a visual film person, I like films that are visually interesting, and The Fall is definitely that. It's one of the most visually compelling movies in a lot of ways. Its use of color and just its use of interesting transitions and just kind of borderline surrealistic locations. There's a lot, like they did a lot of location shooting at really cool places in this movie. So it's fantastic to look at. I love it. So that's my number 5. So those are my top 5 favorite movies in order. And I would recommend them to anybody. Have I ever had a class, studied something, or read a book that changed my life, view on the world, and how? Yes. In high school, in my senior year, I took a class, AP European History, and it completely changed my perspective on things. It made the world make so much sense. Like, so much more sense. My eyes were completely opened. We started from, like early days of the Roman Empire to modern day, and just went through the whole thing. So all of Europe's history. And just seeing how these cultures are related, and what evolved into what, and what is, lingering from the past, what influenced what thing, what regions were where, or like what region became, just there's so many different things that I didn't know at the time, that or maybe I'd heard bits and pieces of, that I learned them in that class, and just my culture fell into context, and so much of other little bits and pieces of other things I've experienced in life, it just made a lot more sense. It was a big picture moment for me, and so that was the definite thing for me. It changed a lot. If you had a soundtrack to your life, what plays when you brush your teeth? I wasn't quite sure about this one, but I'm gonna say probably the song Spanish Flea. I would play it for you. I don't have it queued up though, but it's one of those. I think they would sometimes play it on like the dating game or something. The song itself is almost exactly 2 minutes long, and I think they say you're supposed to brush your teeth for like 2 minutes. So that's part of it. So like when I hear the song, I know when to start and end. But it's also kind of like a quirky, weird, kind of swishy song with a trumpet. It's like sorry, but that's how it goes. So it's fun, and maybe it could get annoying after a while, but I think that's just what I'm gonna say. If you could choose between two pills, one gives you the power to speak and understand any language, one gives you the power to play any instrument. What do you take? I'm probably gonna side with everyone else on this one and say the language one. That was the one that first popped into my head. I think that'd be fantastic to be able to. I love languages. I love linguistics. I love etymology of words and all of that. And just be able to understand that and speak that would make life so much more rich. You would you'd have the potential to understand anything because you would know, you'd have deeper meanings of words because you know what they came from and what those words meant. You'd be able to communicate with anyone you ever interacted with. It would just open the world up to you. It'd be fantastic. I've seen this question or a similar question asked before, and I think someone answered like, you take the one pill and travel the world with the person that took the other pill. So like I take the language one and then I travel the world with someone who took the music one, and then you just go around and you speak to people on different levels because music is one of those universal art forms. Music just speaks to people. It's a universal language. And so, to actually be able to speak someone's language, but then express that universal language which kind of exists on a different plane at the same time, it'd be a really beautiful thing. So, yeah, I'd pick the language one. But, I mean, I would love to be able to play every instrument, too. Okay, here we go. What's a social norm that you don't understand and wish you could get rid of? I thought a little bit about this, and I came to my definite conclusion. Writing thank you notes. I hate writing thank you notes. I feel like it's so unnecessary. Especially if you thank the person already face to face. I don't want to thank someone for a gift and then have to write them again for it. Because, you know why? Here's why. Because when I get a thank you note, maybe I look at it once and then I never look at it again. Either it gets thrown out or it gets lost or just goes and sits somewhere. It's just this little thing. And so often thank you notes are just formulaic. You're just filling in like, thank you so-and-so for giving for your gift of so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm doing with it, blah. It's so meaningless to me, and it's just an extra chore. So I hate having to write thank you notes. I don't really appreciate getting thank you notes. I don't care if you thank me for what I give you in writing. I think it's just a hassle. So no more thank you notes. Okay, and then the last one. You could bring back any article of clothing from time or place that's gone out of style, make it fashionable again. What would it be? I thought about this one for a long time too. I actually have a really big list. So maybe if you'll indulge me, I'll run through a couple of them. First one that came to mind was top hat, or just like hats for men in general. Because now, you see guys wearing hats, but what is it? Just like the baseball cap. That's boring. So like top hats or bowlers or anything. I mean, I love Neil's idea of the pirate hat or like the three-cornered hat. That's fantastic. I'd love to see that again. So just like more hat options for men, but specifically like top hats. Cloaks and capes. I'd love to see the cloak become in style again. Actually, I was just at First Fridays, which is like an art thing in my city tonight, and I saw a guy on the street with a cape on. It was amazing. So I was just thinking about this today. I should have said something to him, but so maybe they will come back. Who knows? But yeah, so like cloaks, I want them. Powdered wigs or just wigs in general. I know wigs are still in fashion, but just like think there was a time when everyone was just wearing wigs or everyone had white hair. It's kind of crazy. So that could be fun. That one I'm not a huge proponent of, but it could be fun. Canes. Yeah, like carrying canes around, like it's not just an old man thing, it's just like part of your style. Yeah, maybe. Here's one, actually this is maybe the one, if I had to pick one, I don't know if these are necessarily out of style, but I think there's definitely a time when they were more fashionable than they are now. Cutoff gloves. I really like cutoff gloves a lot. I've always thought they were cool, and I've always wanted them. I have a couple pairs, but I think I've since lost them or something. But just as a kid, even now, just like cutoff gloves, I think are really cool. But again, you don't really see them much anymore. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, there's a couple other things on the list, but I don't really like those answers anymore. So that's what I'm saying. Did I get all the questions? Yes, I did. So that is it. That is it for week 3. That is it for my 9 questions. I hope you guys liked answering them. If anyone wants to respond with video responses or comments or anything answering some of these, I'd love to know what those of you who aren't making videos think that maybe watch our videos. I think it's really fun to ask questions like this just to get to know people that aren't like the traditional, what do you do for a living and where are you from and what's your favorite food type things. Something that's a little bit more, takes a little bit more thought. I like that. Sorry that these things run so long. Sorry that all of these are like 16 minutes long. But I felt I had to do it. So thanks for indulging me, guys. So yeah, this is end of week 3. Come back next week for week 4. I think it's supposed to be Robin's question, but if Robin is not able to do it, then we shall see. So yeah, until then, take it easy, guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.